Justice with Judge Mablean will be life because in everything we do, it involves the law. Where's your witness?
In the evidence.
That's hearsay.
It's notarized.
I still say it's hearsay.
She's fair.
You gotta help these young men learn how to do this the right way.
Yes, Your Honor.
She's firm.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
No, I don't need to say anything else.
She's honest.
I'm not your child and I'm not your friend. That's the order of the court. Goodbye.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean.
All rise. All parties raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Court is now in session with the Honorable Judge Mablean presiding.
Thank you, Will. You may be seated. In the matter of Turner Taylor versus Kevin Gott, I understand that you're suing him for $1,592 on the premise that you were unlawfully terminated, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Gott, you said he violated one of the company policies?
Yes.
And therefore it was lawful for you to terminate him?
Correct.
And we have a witness here, Katie Asher?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Asher is the person who, well, for lack of a better phrase, is at the center of the commotion, right?
That's right.
All right. So let me hear from you, Mr. Taylor.
Yes, ma'am. So I've been a very good employee for the past 2 years for Mr. Gott. I don't have a single write-up, no bad notes whatsoever. In fact, quite the opposite. I have a bunch of positive comments and positive feedback throughout my tenure, the 2 years that I've worked for Mr. Gott. I'm a delivery driver, so the basis of what I do, similar to a pizza delivery driver, is I roll up to the customer's house with the food, I bring it up to the door, I always greet them with a smile, and I hold my customer service and how I present myself to really high esteem. On this particular day, it's business as usual. I roll up, I check all the food in my vehicle. It looks all good. It's actually a lot of food. It's multiple heavy bags. I think it was around $200 worth of food this meal.
And this is cooked food?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yep, cooked Italian food. It's really good. And so I bring the multiple kind of heavy bags up to her doorstep, ring the doorbell, greet her with my famous hello, my charming smile, try to put a smile on her face. She wasn't really smiling much that day. And she asked me if I could bring the food into her home, which is a bit unusual. It's actually really unique. I don't know if I've ever been asked to enter a customer's home.
Are you permitted to do that?
Yes, it's not a part of any of the employee codes not to do it.
Okay.
And again, I really try to go out of my way to provide a good customer service.
All right.
So I was happy.
So you took the food inside?
Right, took the food inside, set it on the kitchen table, and that's when she handed me a $5 bill. And it's actually not expected by me whatsoever to get any sort of tip, but it was a bit unusual, the size of it. It was $5 for around a $200 meal. And it's part of a company policy to not ask directly about tips or to solicit tips in any way. But I just thought maybe I've done something wrong or maybe there's something incorrect with the order. So to really just solicit feedback about, my customer service and to truly in the spirit of improvement of my craft and what I'm doing for Mr. Gott, I just asked, is there any way that I can improve, the service you've received today? And she just blew up on me, freaked out, total Karen moment where she starts waving her finger at me and yelling, "You shouldn't be asking me for more money. You need to get out of my house right now. I'm feeling threatened," and it really scared me, caught me off guard. I'm a really docile and kind-hearted person, so I just had no idea what to make of it. I absolutely exited as quickly as I could, got back in my vehicle and went back to Mr. Gott's restaurant. She had already called Mr. Gott and explained her side of the story, and he really didn't give me much room at all to explain my side of the story.
If a tip is not required and you don't expect a tip, then why are you surprised at $5?
Yeah.
Because it could have been zero, right?
Right, and I frequently get zero, and a nice nod and a goodbye, and I'm happy to leave. But this one was. So
why didn't you leave on a $5 one?
So
if you leave on a zero.
This one was particularly weird, where she was a little staunch with me. Not much of a smile or anything when I brought the food into her home, and she just handed it to me, the $5 in a way that I thought, I wonder if I've done something wrong, or just if there's anything that I can.
So you couldn't get her to smile.
Right.
And you couldn't get her to seem happy with your service.
That's kind of what seemed
So
to be
you're
the case.
concerned about what happened. Did I do something wrong? Or did you ask her that question, or did you say, why only $5? How did you phrase the question?
I completely phrased it as, have I done anything wrong, or is there anything that I can better serve you with?
And what did she say?
That's when she freaked out and said, how dare you ask me for more money? She kind of turned it in that way, and that's kind of the big lie that got me fired that Mr. Gott believed.
Okay. Now I will hear from you, Mr. Gott.
Yeah, so Turner came back to the restaurant and gave me his version of the story, which actually lined up quite a bit with Mrs. Asher. The issue is he was rather passionate about his inquiry to Miss Asher. Her story,
According to her.
according to her, and he's a rather passionate person. It's one of the reasons I hired him. He's got a lot of drive. However, she says he was aggressive.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
So he brought it in. You told him
Yes.
to put it on the kitchen table. Then what
Yes.
happened?
And then he got in my face and he said, is there any way I could have better serviced you?
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Turner Taylor, who is suing Kevin Gott for wrongful termination.
I want to hear what she has to say herself. That's better for me. But I need you to come forward, Ms. Asher. However, you were told to do that.
Hi, Your Honor. I'm Katie Asher.
Yes.
I am a loyal customer of Mr. Gott's restaurant for 5 years.
Okay. Had you, Mrs. Asher, had any personal encounters with Mr. Taylor before this incident?
No.
Okay.
I would
All
have
right.
remembered her scary face and demeanor, Your Honor.
What are you saying now?
I would have remembered her scary face and Karen-like demeanor.
Unacceptable.
And that's probably why you got in trouble. Because you thought she had a scary face. What's so scary about her face?
She just yelled a lot really quickly, and it scared me.
It takes a lot to get me to
Okay.
yell.
Now,
I do
you've
not
already
know.
given me your version, and I want you to stay quiet from now on, all right? Till I come back to you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Miss Asher, give me your version.
So I had asked him to bring the food into.
Well, let's start at the beginning. We
Yes.
rang the doorbell.
Yes.
You open the door.
Yes.
Is there a greeting? What's the exchange, if any? Just give me all of it, the details. This time I want all the details.
So I opened the door. He greeted me. Yes, he did have a smile on his face, and he said, "Here is your delivery, Miss Asher. Where would you?" You know, he basically I said, you know, it was.
Now, I don't want
trying to-
basically, I want you to tell me what the exchange was.
Okay. So
Because this is
there was-
crucial.
Okay, there was quite a bit of.
Okay, he
in the
said, he
order.
greeted you and said, where would you like me to take the food?
And I then had said that putting it on the kitchen table would be, you know, the best.
Okay, did he have to go upstairs to get to the kitchen
No.
table? Okay,
Straight through the hallway.
okay, so you directed him to the kitchen table,
Correct.
okay? And then what happened?
So I had my 4 girlfriends there,
Oh,
and well, we get together at least once every month. I mean, come on, ladies.
and where were
gotta-
they?
They were at the. They were in the kitchen. We were having cocktails before we were having. The
So
food
they were
arrive.
in the kitchen?
Yes, we were all
in the same
kitchen.
area where you left the food?
Correct.
All right, so he brought it in, you told him
Yes.
to put it on the kitchen table, then what
Yes.
happened?
I then handed him the $5, and then he got in my face and he said, "Is there any way I could have better serviced you?"
And when you say he got in your face, he looked at you straight on.
Yes. It's almost as if he was taking advantage of the fact that he was a tall, muscular man.
Maybe you read that
had
into it, and all he said was, is there any better way I could have serviced you?
Absolutely not. It was his tone.
Well, I asked you to tell me, and you didn't give me a tone.
So, this is how he said it. "Is there any better way that I could have serviced you?"
Okay. And what was your response?
Well, I was absolutely offended. I gave him
Okay,
something
tell me why
that
you
was-
were offended.
Because I was giving him something that was beyond what he was paid. I happen to know that Mr. Gott pays his employees very well, and that anything that
Why
is
do you know
above
what
that.
Mr. Gott pays his employees?
Because-
She knows what you pay your employees? Are you discussing your employees' payroll with her?
Well, actually, so not only is Miss Asher a very good customer, repeat, she's actually thrown some business my way as well. Some
That wasn't
catering
my
jobs.
question.
So we've talked about
Do
business
you
and such.
discuss what you pay your employees with your customer?
Depending, yes.
Isn't that a violation of your employees' privacy?
No.
Why not?
I don't think so.
Why not?
It's a company policy.
Just because it's a company policy, you're not hiring her. You're telling her what you pay employees.
Well, for example, like websites like Glassdoor and such reveal what you're paying at a place. I don't believe it's breaking the law, but
Okay, so you discussed with her. So when you say you gave him something and he asked, is there something more he could have done, and you felt insulted or offended?
Absolutely.
Use your words. I don't want to put words in your mouth. What was your feeling?
I was insulted.
Okay. And he was insulted by $5. And you were insulted by him asking you, could he have done something better? Why
Yes.
did that insult you?
Well, because I was giving him something. It's almost like you're putting down the amount that I'm giving you for. It's a gift. It's almost like if you give someone a gift card or you put money in an envelope and then they sit and they go, "Oh, happy birthday to me. You're only giving me $20." Excuse me. I could have just given you a birthday card.
Or nothing?
Correct.
Okay.
I could have not even acknowledged your special day, but I did.
Okay.
So to me, it's like I'm acknowledging the fact that you have come into my personal space and are servicing me.
That you have come into my house, you brought me
Yes.
something, you've put it down,
Yes.
and I'm acknowledging it, and my way of acknowledging it is I give you $5. Right?
Yes,
And he
absolutely.
questioned the $5 and that offended you.
Yeah.
What else happened?
I then said to him that we were done here and that I gave him his tip and please leave.
Coming up,
How much do you usually get from tips? I thought you said sometimes you get none.
Yep, that's true. I think maybe her staunch nature as well could have been the product of my inquiry.
you're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Turner Taylor, who is suing Kevin Gott for wrongful termination.
So what caused you to terminate him?
First, he violated the policy.
What's the
about
policy?
tips.
What
So
policy did he violate?
I have actually all the policies here if you'd like to see them. There's 6 main ones.
Which policy did he violate? I don't want to read all 6 of them. Which
Indeed,
one did he
indeed.
violate?
Specifically, the one about tips. Delivery drivers are never supposed to even have anything to do with
Do
talking
not
about
ask customers directly about tips. Remember, they keep us in business.
Right, it is.
That's number 4. Were you aware of that?
Yes, ma'am.
You were? Mm-hmm. So why you asked the woman about the tip?
I did not ask her directly about a tip, and I was not offended by the amount of the tip. It more so, the $5 created a desire in me to figure out if there was anything wrong that I could be better about.
You were offended by the $5 and you wanted to know, could you do anything else to get more than the $5?
I wasn't offended by it. I was curious why it was such a low amount for such a large bill.
Such a what? How about such a what? Little amount.
Yep.
You were offended because when you say such a little amount, it meant that you thought it wasn't enough.
That incited the curiosity that maybe I did something wrong, and I wanted to.
How much
Right.
do you usually get from tips? I thought you said sometimes you get none.
Yep, that's true. I think maybe her staunch nature as well could have been the product of my inquiry. For example, maybe if she gave me no tip at all, I still would have asked just because of her general nature. Is this okay? Is there anything wrong?
Your rule says say nothing to the customers about tip.
I didn't mention anything about tip or the
What is
amount
it
in my
about?
question. The service of the.
So because you didn't use the word tip, you're trying to get technical and say I didn't say anything to her about tip.
Coming up,
And you know what my response to that when people are like, is this all or just $5 is like, you want to give it back?
you're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Turner Taylor, who is suing Kevin Gott for wrongful termination.
The man's trying to see, is there any way I can make my service better? Maybe he could have gone back to the shop and asked his boss and had a conversation with him as opposed to you, but that's not intimidating. You take it too far. The man didn't try to touch you. The man didn't call you out of your name. The man was not aggressive. He simply let you know, by asking the question, that he wasn't satisfied with the $5 tip. And you know what my response to that, when people are like, is this all or just $5, is like, you want to give it back?
Your Honor, one of the issues is, it's like you just said, this entire situation could have been resolved had Mr. Turner followed the policies, one being, it's not his job to discuss it with the customer. It's mine or one of the managers. And this could have all been settled in that way.
But I don't understand. You got a man who's been with you for 2 years.
Yes.
He's had, according to him, no other blemishes on his record.
As far as we know, and none of it
Well,
brought...
you can't have it if you don't know, right?
Truth.
You can't make it up. So he had no other complaints from any other customers, and on this one complaint, you fired him. And you said that he was good.
He is good. However, when Miss Asher said he was aggressive, that he was intimidating her,
aggressive and intimidating is all conclusions. And the way she said that to me, he wasn't aggressive and intimidating. She just didn't like, she was pissed. He thought it was rude that he would ask her, question the fact that she only gave $5. There's a difference in being rude and being aggressive and intimidating. There is nothing intimidating about saying, is there any other way that I could service you better?
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
I don't find that intimidating. I don't find that harmful. And was it good taste? No. But I don't think that it was harmful, and I find that it was not good cause to terminate him just for that, given his history and given that you and he agree that he was a good employee. If I were you as the owner of that business, I would have asked and would have tried to talk to one of the other persons there, or had the two of them in this place together. I mean, I just would have done a little bit more than that. I would have reprimanded him and maybe had him go back to her and apologize, since she's a regular. But I don't think that's a justifiable termination, so I'll find judgment for the plaintiff.
Mr. Kevin Gott, no more money.
you want your job back?
Nope.
All right, you can gather your...
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
You just showed your behind. If you had the audacity to do that, and I just gave you a victory, and I am the judge who can see and hear what you're doing, then you disrespected this lady. I have the right to change my ruling. I change it. Good cause, judgment for the defendant.
Sneaky, sneaky.
You got one more thing to say, and you're gonna find yourself in contempt of court. You got a smart mouth, and you need to learn from it.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.